Hello and welcome to the Wine Educate podcast, where we explore WSET education, study tips, and practical advice for wine enthusiasts and professionals. I'm your host, Joanne Close. This is episode 39. Coming to the end of our Level 3 series, I kind of tacked on a few more episodes at the end there because they made sense for me to do that. I was going to do a completely different episode today. I had a different plan in mind, but then I had a change of heart because I had my Level 3 class last night. We are on, session 14, second to last. So next week is our last one. Session 14 is sparkling wine, which is so much fun. Always fun to talk about. We get to taste some really delicious wines. So it was the end of class, and we're just hanging out a little bit because, we've got champagne in our glass, and we're drinking it. We're drinking some champagne. And I thought, this is a good chance to pick their brains, ask them some questions. I have a captive audience. They're drinking a little champagne. They're almost towards the end of the class, and all the folks I was speaking to are going to be taking the exam in 2 weeks' time. So I asked them, what do you wish you could have told yourself 6 months ago? Knowing what you know now, you've been through the course pretty much all the way, you're planning on taking the exam. What do you wish you'd really known 6 months ago? Oh, and they had some things to tell me. So I was literally laying in bed this morning thinking, I need to record this because it's pretty useful and it's right out of the mouths of my current Level 3 students. All right, so I've broken them up into 5 things. So starting with the first one, not realizing that when I said 200 hours of study, I really meant it. Because all these things I did tell them at the beginning of class. They all said they really underestimated the amount of time that they needed to put aside to study for this class. When I said, 200 hours, does that seem fair? And they all said, yep, that seems fair. That really does seem like the right number in order to get a firm grasp on this material. So they wish they'd started earlier and that they planned on those 200 hours. The second one, they never really got the study group together. So there was initial push at the beginning when I said in class 1, look around you, get phone numbers, start your study group. And it didn't really materialize. And one of my students, he's like, I wish I could have locked everyone in a room and made that. I was like, whoa, we don't need to make the news here, buddy. This is not a true crime podcast, people. But I did understand what he was saying. If you've gotten just a little bit more, I guess I'll use the word proactive, not kidnapping, and gotten that study group going with that momentum and the accountability would have been pretty helpful. All right, the third one that they mentioned was really wanting to have stepped into class with having refreshed the Level 2 material. You are expected to know all the Level 2 material really well before you start the Level 3 because it is a very interactive class. And I might turn to you and say, describe to me Syrah. What are the characteristics, aromas, and flavors of Syrah? And you shouldn't bat an eye. You should just be able to say those right away, because I'm going to be building on that knowledge, and you've got to have that base foundation knowledge. I stress all these things in the Launchpad Level 3 prep course, and I do give you Level 2 flashcards and Level 2 practice test to make sure that you've really mastered that material, right? And you can just focus on learning the Level 3 material, of which there is a lot. The fourth thing is feeling like they should have been more prepared for class because we have the 80-20 rule in class, right? So in Level 2, I'm up there. It's like the Joanne Close show, and I just talk about wines. For Level 3, I need participation. I'm supposed to be up there saying 20% of the things, and you all are supposed to be filling in the rest of that 80%. So I get to a topic, I might say, just like I did last night, traditional method, sparkling wine, go from start to finish. What happens in the vineyard? How is the wine harvested? How is it fermented? So on and so forth. All those steps, I should not be up there explaining the steps. I want to hear it from you all, because the more you speak up in class, the more these concepts are cemented, and the easier it's going to be on exam day for you to answer these questions, link everything together, and write it all down in your essay. So some students were saying they didn't realize that the class format was like that, and it wasn't so much me teaching the information. It's more like I'm a coach, and I get you all ready and help you link these concepts together. Okay, and the fifth one goes a little bit with the fourth one, and this catches people off guard, even if they are really diligent with looking over the specification, have a good idea, have listened to episode 30, right? Know exactly how the course is organized and the exam is organized, not really understanding this linking of concepts. So everything goes back to those first couple of chapters where the book talks about climate and also things like slope and aspect and all these things that affect a wine and a wine style. Everything gets threaded through that filter. When you understand that early on, and again, this is a concept I really hammer home in the Launchpad, and if you understand this concept early on, it's going to be really helpful to you, because I find that most students don't quite get this and they feel a little lost, almost to like midway through the course, until it starts to click and then they start to apply it. But they've really missed out on having applied that all the way from the beginning of the course. All right, yeah, it was really useful last night hearing students say these things. And so I thought, might as well make it into a podcast, because it's fresh on the brain, right out of the mouths of my students. And these are the pain points that I do see coming up over and over. This is, as I said before, one of the main reasons I've created this podcast, because now I've got all these juicy episodes and I can say, go ahead and listen to all of this before you start the level 3 course. Because quite frankly, a 57% pass rate is crap, right? That's crap. I think it's terrible. I know it's a difficult course, but you are very smart and capable, and there's no reason why that overall pass rate can't get higher. And certainly for my class, it is my goal to make that pass rate much higher. All right. Got that out there. Feels good. Promise this is the last one. I know you're probably all ready to move on to new topics, and so am I. So Nancy and I tried a tasting kit yesterday, and we're going to bring that on. We're very excited about that. So I'm going to be talking about that. Also, I've been wanting to talk about aroma kits, if they're worth it, what we think about those, just other study tools. So if there is a topic that you want to have me cover on the podcast, let me know. I would love to hear from you. Please send me an email at Joanne, Joanne, at wineeducate.com. Again, if you are interested in starting the Launchpad course with us on Sunday, May 11th, check us out at wineeducate.com/Launchpad. All right, bye for now.